Okay, but what are y'all paying for your car payment? Because now you have me confused. Because $650 is a lot. It's a lot. I would rather not pay it. Don't love that. However, I do love my car. However, she's not a fancy sports car. I have a 2023, might be a 2022, I don't remember. Kia Sorento. Nice SUV. I loved her. I love her. Again, I love her. But it's not fancy by any means. I would consider it a normal car for a mom, for a family. Also, that monthly payment includes like my warranty with Kia. So anytime my light comes on, anytime I need my oil change, they got me, and that's nice. And also our credit is good. Before you say our credit's bad, that's why my payment is high. And before you say they must have got me on some crazy interest rate, I'm pretty sure we went back and forth with the dealer and USAA, and we went with the USAA, and I think we got like 2 or 3%. So none of that is a factor. We weren't bought into anything. We just got a brand new car, which I felt like was a good purchase. And I still do feel like is a good purchase and a good monthly investment, though it does make me sad. Simply because I'm a mother, I'm a homeschool mom especially. We're always doing things. Now I work. I need a reliable car. We're also traveling across the state line all the time. I need something that's reliable, and you never know what you're getting from a used car. So let me know what you pay for a brand new SUV within the last few years, because I thought that was normal. Okay.
You know, I guess the justification behind this is really, really interesting, because you assume that because it's new, it's reliable, or you assume that because it has a warranty, it's reliable. But the only thing that you can rely on is the fact that if and when it does break, the manufacturer or the dealership will be footing the bill. In theory, if they can cover the damage and repair, or whether or not they acknowledge it, because how many times have you had warranty claims that go denied? But either way, we're going to talk about this and car payments and just some good old fashioned internet trolling that's being done here. And feel free, drop your car payment total in the comments section down below if you'd like. And yeah, perhaps maybe some folks should be ready for, maybe they should put on a fire suit. Maybe that's what we need right now. Just some housekeeping rules here. We like to have fun. We like to talk shit. We like to, just speak our minds and share our opinions, but we don't like being rude and disrespectful. Okay. So there's that. And, this young lady here, she says that because she's got a warranty and it's built into the loan, that whenever she needs an oil change, whenever she needs maintenance, Kia has got her back, I guess. But I don't know about you guys, but I don't know of any warranty that covers maintenance. I mean, granted, there are some vehicles, I think BMW or Mercedes offered the first 2 years of service, but I don't think that that's a part of the warranty, but I'm not really sure. Granted, there will be some folks out there who would say $650 for a Kia, because the brand matters, which I think LeBron James was sponsored by Kia at one point, but hey, got to make that money, right? Got to get that check. And that's all we're trying to do here, folks. Trying to get paid, trying to make money so that we can go out and buy cars. And depending on how your finances are set up will determine how you make your payments, whether it be 60 months or 72 or 84 or 106 or 36 or 24 or, dare I say, just one.
I don't care that I have a $700 car note. I don't care, because I'm in this car a lot, right? Think about it. We commute to work, to the gym, to the stores. We're in this car 1-2 hours every day. best believe that I'm going to drive something that I like and that I'm comfortable in. And I don't care about that Apple CarPlay, whatever everybody's obsessed with. What I care about is that my windows roll up and down, that I don't have any check engine lights, and that my brakes aren't screeching. Because having an unreliable car is inconvenient. Trust me, I've had my handful of cash cars. I've been in hoopties. It was all that I could afford back then. Car troubles were the worst.
Having an unreliable car can definitely be inconvenient, but I'm just wondering how many McLaren owners out there would say that, would agree. I wonder how many Range Rover owners out there would agree. I wonder how many Voodoo engine Mustang owners out there would agree that having an unreliable car is very inconvenient, no matter how much you paid for it, no matter the manufacturer, no matter how new it is. I would be willing to bet that even Nico would say that having an unreliable car is very inconvenient, even after spending $500,000 on one. Or I don't remember exactly how much he spent, but he spent a lot of money on that 812 or that, I think it was an 812 GTS, and it has been very, very troublesome for him.
So yeah, I'll pay my $700 car note, and best believe, yes, I am going to buy the maintenance package because my car needs to be on schedule for its maintenance. And listen, the real flex is buying a nice car cash, right? But we don't all have it like that, but we can afford a little, $700 payment. And I'm cool with that. Y'all are gonna come for me, but y'all have fun on the side of the road. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care that I have a...
Y'all...
I can't even begin to count how many cars I've seen on the side of the road that probably still have car payments. And it's just like, just because you are financing a vehicle or it's less than 5 or 6 or 7 years old doesn't mean it's going to be trouble free. That's just not how this works here. Okay. And also I would have to assume that, when people say finance, when they say car payment, I think they mean that they're buying the car, for which they probably never buy the car. They just make payments and then eventually trade in, roll over negative equity, and keep kicking the can down the road. I don't think people with car payments that are lease payments refer to them as car payments. I don't think that they do that, even though they're in a similar boat and category where odds are when the lease term is up, they're going to turn it in and start a new lease, and they're never going to actually truly own their own vehicle. It's kind of like real estate. You never really own your real estate because you're continuously bound by the laws of paying property taxes. And if you don't, then you lose your real estate. So leasing would fall into that category, I think. However, financing and paying off, or again, making that one monthly payment and paying for it all at one time, would lead to ownership. And then, those folks, I don't know where those videos are. Those videos, I don't know where those videos, what category they would fall into on social media or on TikTok. I have to look into that.
I cannot be getting behind these $700 car payments. Every time I work on budgets and I see any car payment, even above like $600, I want to choke on my own vomit. And before you say, Jess, the average car is like $35,000. I don't care. You don't need a $35,000 car. You want a $35,000 car. The most expensive car I ever bought was a 2015 Mazda 3. I bought it in 2016 for $14,000, walking out the door, and my car payment was $315.15. And I thought that was a lot, and it really isn't. Nowadays, with my income and everything, I would say, I don't think I'd be comfortable paying more than $450. $500 is pushing it. And some of you are willing to have $700 plus car payments. Not only that, I've seen people with car payments more than some people's mortgages. I've seen people come with car payments $1,400. For $1,400, I better be able to live in that thing. I also feel like cars are just the biggest tricks ever, because it's I've just never looked at someone's vehicle, even if it's the oldest thing in the world, and been ew, look what I don't care. I feel like most people do not care.
Like, I will get in the oldest, like, beat up car ever of someone else's and not give two shits, as long as it's not, like, piled with trash and fast food. Like, I do care about that stuff, but I would care about that if it was a brand new car. But it's just so much better to not have the new car and make those kind of car payments. And I'm in, like, a great position right now. I do not have a car payment. I honestly don't even have, like, a car of my own. I have a company car. And yeah, so I have a company car and they pay for like my car insurance and gas and like all that great stuff. So currently right now I do not have a car payment. Now what I've been meaning to do for like the last 8 months, and this is like totally my bad.
You know, it ain't tricking if you got it, right? And granted, as I said earlier, I don't think folks with lease payments lump themselves into the same category as car payments, but I'm pretty sure Stradman's payment on his Koenigsegg was something around like $35,000. Like, this lady here is saying that $35,000 is the max you should spend on a car, all the while people are spending that a month on their car payment or their lease payment. And granted, it's a $2+ million car, maybe three now, I don't remember. But you know, it's relative. It's relative, right? I have to pull this up because I asked Grok the other day, because Michelle and I, we were talking about buying multi-million-dollar cars and would I or would I not. And we got off on a tangent on why people would do it, and you know, granted, how people could do it. And I was like, well, you know, when you reach this level of wealth, it really doesn't matter anymore, right? When you reach a certain level, it really doesn't matter anymore. And I'm trying to find this little post that I did, but it was probably about a week ago. And so I don't think we should only look at it, or anyone should really look at it from the perspective of how much the car payment is, without really the full story, without knowing the purchase price, without knowing the interest rate, without knowing the term, without knowing, but without knowing and judging and comparing and reacting to and critiquing is what makes the internet so much fun. And what's not making the internet fun right now is me not being able to find the post or the chat that I had with Grok about Elon Musk and what it's like for him to buy a car versus the average person. There it is. Found it. And so I said, if Elon Musk bought an $8 million car, how would that compare to the average person worth $250,000? Net worth $250,000, which most people probably aren't worth $250,000. So this is already an extreme, okay? And to compare Elon Musk buying an $8 million car to an average person with a net worth of $250,000, we can scale the purchase proportionately based on their prospective net worths. This shows the relative financial impact or pain of the expenditure. Elon Musk's net worth is approximately $400 billion as of August 2025. Note, that exact figure fluctuates daily with stock markets and valuations of his companies like Tesla and SpaceX, but recent estimates cluster around this amount. And quickly here for interpretation, for Elon Musk, spending $8 million on a car is equivalent to an average person with $250,000 in net worth spending about $5. $5. This could be compared to buying a coffee, a fast food meal, or a small everyday item, something negligible that wouldn't meaningfully affect their finances. In contrast, if the average person bought a typical new car around 35 to 40 grand, that would represent 14 to 16% of their net worth, a far more significant commitment than Musk's hypothetical purchase. Elon Musk could buy an $8 million car, and it would be the equivalent of most people spending $5. Granted, if Elon Musk had a car payment on the $8 million car, then it would be criticized, but it's still the equivalent of $5. That's crazy. That's insane.
I need to be doing it, is I want to put like, I think like $350-$400 a month into a high yield savings as my car payment. So that way when I do eventually get a car of my own, then I have like a good down payment that I've been saving up for. But I can't get behind those $700 plus car payments. That's outrageous. And you know it is, okay? You can try to justify it all day, all you want. You can try to justify that, but ain't no freaking way.
So let's just justify this for a second here, because she was talking about down payments. And I'm gonna bring in a comment here that I saw on TikTok. But just to save up for down payment, why is it no different than to save up to pay off the car and never have a payment? It's not what you know. I think it's more about what you've been taught, or at least what you consume and what you somewhat align with. And these folks are scotomas, plain and simple. My buddy Anthony, he said, it just popped up on this TikTok, not this one, I think it was a different one. But he goes, it's not crazy. What's crazy is people trying to buy these cars with no down payment. People buy based on payment, not actual car cost, and that's what screws them. People buy cars above their means. And, you know, I did see a TikTok, and this guy was like, you know, I was able to buy this car and walk out without putting any money down. And the comments were like, dude, that's not the flex that you think it is. But hear me out, folks. What does it fucking matter? What does it fucking matter? It's not crazy. What's crazy is people trying to buy these cars with no down payment. Maybe. People buy based on payment, not actual car costs, and that's what screws them. Yeah, for sure. And people buy cars above their means. Now, here's the deal. If your means are $500 a month, okay, and you can finance a car with zero down and be at $500 a month, does it matter if you put money down? Not really. Sort of. Depends on a lot of other factors for which we don't discuss here, because that just wouldn't be as much fun. However, granted, there were times when 0% was everywhere. You could literally, same as cash. So this is just my take, devil's advocate here. But if you can find a car in a payment within your means at a sale price that you agree to, that isn't butt fucking you, and you're at 0% or less than inflation, I don't really give a shit. Like, that's just how I look at it.
Y'all, I could not be getting my
lock in, lights, camera, action, telly, ESPN, it's a top thing. Lock in, lights, camera, action, I don't fold a band when it's time to win. Trolling cause we're rolling under lights, we don't get anxious, do it with a purpose.
All right, so I can't play that for you because it's Sabrina Carpenter, and I'm not trying to get a copyright strike, because like I said, we over here trying to make that money, okay? And so this one here is a reoccurring video, I guess. Like I said, people copy everybody, and you know, you see it once, you see it again. This is not the first time I've seen it, but this is the one that I chose to show you because this woman is familiar to me, because I've seen her on YouTube. She works at a Dodge dealership, and she gets pretty good views. She gets pretty good views on her shorts. So I decided to use this one. So this one is actually pretty interesting because a lot of people don't understand how this works. And what basically it is, it's like a back and forth, and it's like $800 for a car payment is crazy. Sure, I guess it's relative. And then the question is, but it's just a $45,000 car. And so at $45,000, I would assume that we're probably at 60 months. But it doesn't matter, regardless. We're going to say 60 months because that's typically how the math works out. And it says, what if I put $1,000 down? And here we go back to the down payment. And people think that $1,000 down, okay, well, now you're financing a $44,000 car. It's not like it's that big of a deal. So your payment would now be $780 instead of $800 because roughly it's $20 $1,000. Basically, it's $20 $1,000, roughly. Which I think that this would probably be a 72 month. Whatever. It doesn't matter. And, so she goes, well, the payment's too high. So, okay, let's go look at the first vehicle I originally suggested that's in your price range. But this, I'm sure dealers have to go through this on a regular basis, dealing with customers who have zero financial knowledge, literacy whatsoever when it comes to financing. And also are kind of, I'm not going to say they're broke, but they definitely have like champagne taste with a beer budget. We'll just put it like that.
I'm not normally a jealous person, but when I see the videos on TikTok of the girlies, it's like the POV, you chose the 1990 to 2000, whatever, fill in the blank, little crappy car instead of the car payment. I want to get out of my car payment so badly. I don't know how. I pay $700 a month. I had to get the leather and the bucket seats. Like, I did this for what? It's not worth it. Let this be your sign. Take the car without the car payment. The joy I would feel listening to my CDs. By the way, I have CDs. This car, for whatever reason, has a CD player. So, like, I have my CDs. But, like, the joy I would feel listening to my CDs in, like, a 1990 Land Cruiser. Or, like, a 1970 Ford F-250. That's, like, my dream truck. Or, like, a little Ford Ranger Beater, 2002. This, it's not it.
I'm not going to make a comment on this one because, honestly, she's, in my opinion, doing all the right things. She's doing all the right things, and I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that from a standpoint of whatever her car payment is and whatever car she wants to buy, odds are she's going to be able to do that for the entirety. Like, for as long as she wants, as long as she continues to do what she just did right there.
I posted that the number one wealth killer in America right now in 2025 is car notes. If you had to do it all over again, what type of car would you have made, or would you make your first car? As I've gotten older and, quite literally understand a little bit more about cars, there's no way that my first choice as a first car shouldn't have been a Toyota or Honda. Honestly, and I think Toyota's beating Honda at this point. What car would you have went with had you known then what you know now, considering the fact that car notes are literally killing wealth? I think the main reason why car notes has really taken over a lot of people's financial situation is because people would rather ride in luxury than live in luxury. And riding in luxury will literally cause you not to be able to live in luxury. Literally no way it feels good to drive something that you can barely afford. Coming home every day, repeating the same routine Monday through Friday, a lot more Monday through Fridays, and at the end or beginning of a new month, you can't even make the car payment. Spending all that time working and working. I posted that the number one wealth killer in America.
I'm not going to say like riding in luxury, but, I will say that based on my car history, knowing what I know now, there are definitely a few cars that I wish I bought as my first car and just kept. And, my 2001 Integra Type R, that probably would have been a very, very sound investment to keep until now, especially for what I bought it for. Let's see here. My 03 Lancer Evolution, my Evo, that probably would have worked out really well. My Civic hatch, those things are, priceless. They're like gold. They're like, let's see here. An Integra GSR, S2 clean mint AP1 S2000, a Civic Si. Granted, I don't remember what year that was, but if you had an what was it, the EK? Well, that'd be a hatch. But if you had like a 2000 Electron Blue Pearl Civic Si, that would have been my E46 M3, my E92 M3, my Z01 Camaro, which obviously I couldn't have bought that as my first car. My 2017 F80 M3 competition in Laguna Seca Blue. Like, there's my 2021 Civic Type R. There's so many cars. Now, yeah, granted, I got, a soft spot for this Z06 out here. But those cars, granted, they're not Ferrari F40 appreciation, but for what I paid for them back in the day and what they were going for and what they are going for now, definitely would have been a worthwhile investment.
How much do I pay monthly for my 2025 BMW M3 Comp? So this car, after taxes and fees and an additional $6,000 in warranties that I paid, came up to about $100,000. Now I have extremely good credit. I'm in the 800s, so I was able to get a really good deal on the interest rate. And after a really large down payment and setting myself up for the shortest yearly term so I can finish paying this car off as fast as possible, my car payment came down to $1,500 a month. Now I also have insurance, which is an additional $500 a month. In total, $2,000 a month just to keep the car. We're not even counting gas right now. Do you guys think that's justifiable?
Yo, the trolling is unreal. It's epic. Throw out your car payment. Get people all up in arms with the brand. Give them very little information. Make yourself look, anyway, a certain type of way, and just wait for the engagement and the trolling to come in. Blow up your TikTok, make that money, and continue going out and buying these cars and spending this payment or not. These cars could be paid for, and it could probably not even be their car, and they're just making the video to troll to get paid. Going back to what I said originally, which is, why does it freaking matter? Who cares if your payment is $800 or $1,500 or $4,000 for zero money down 488 GTB?
So what's the payment on this thing? Finance 20% down.
With no trade, you're looking at about $3,900 a month.
So $4,000 a month to own a 2017 Ferrari 488 Spider. How many miles?
This has got.
Who freaking cares? Who cares if your car payment is $35,000 a month or if your car payment is $100,000 a month because you chose to pay for the car cash and you just made one payment? What does it freaking matter? What does it matter?